He came to the village, long after the sun had surrendered to the horizon. The road was a narrow, unlit ribbon of packed earth, swallowed on both sides by deepening shadows. The sky above was a heavy, starless blanket. He walked with a small, worn bag slung over his shoulder, the quiet rhythm of his steps the only sound. He was a traveler, a man from the city, seeking a place to rest until dawn. The village seemed asleep, mud-walled houses huddled together. Lights were scarce. A single kerosene lamp swung at a crossroads. An old man at a deserted tea stall wiped a cup, then saw him approach, and paused, watching the stranger in the lamplight. He asked where the traveler would spend the night. The traveler smiled tiredly and gestured toward a colossal shadow at the village edge. He would rest under the big banyan tree. "Do not go near that tree," the old man whispered. "It is not a place for the living after the moon is high. People vanish there after midnight." The traveler laughed, calling such tales superstition. He did not listen. The warnings were like water skittering off a smooth stone. He walked toward the great tree, the beam of his phone's light cutting a nervous path through the gloom. Each step made a soft crunch that seemed too loud, as a thin, cool wind stirred the countless leaves above. He found a space to sit among serpentine roots and placed his bag beside him. He rested his phone on his knee, cold blue light, and chose a gentle instrumental track to soothe him. The night moved with predatory patience. Crickets hummed like a form of silence. From a distant temple, one lonely bell rang and hung in the dark. He let weariness wash over him, but rest did not come. A sudden sharp coldness settled in the air. A chill crawled up his neck. The music faltered into a faint electronic buzz, like a trapped insect. Arjun. The root beneath him shifted, as if the ancient wood took a slow, deep breath. His heart quickened, but his face remained calm. He walked around the massive trunk to prove he was alone. The moon painted the bark like wrinkled skin. In the root shadows, small pairs of lights blinked and vanished, only to appear elsewhere. Then came a soft metallic jingle, the delicate crystalline ringing of anklets. The distant temple bell rang again, a solitary, mournful note that marked some unseen hour. Then came the laughter, not joy, but an intimate sound that belonged to a secret room. It moved around him, circling in the deep shadows just beyond sight. Fear seized him. He tried to call out, but his voice was trapped, a knot of dry air. The laughter rose, very close now, and yet came from all around at once. He turned to run, back to the village lights, but the earth held him, soft and yielding. The banyan moved with an ancient groan. Its roots shifted, not to block him, but to clear a way, deeper into its embrace. Long, impossibly cold fingers touched his arm. His legs turned heavy, as if wading through deep water. Arjun. It was no longer a question, but a claim. He stopped, frozen in a fear so profound it was almost peace. A warm breath touched his neck, sweet jasmine and dry, ancient dust. His phone slipped from his hand and fell into the tangled nest of roots. Its small blue light blinked once, twice, and went dark. The world dissolved into unseen sounds. Anklets were everywhere, a delicate cage of sound closing in. The quiet laughter echoed from the leaves, a gentle, possessive melody, celebrating a victory. Cold air wrapped around him like a shroud. He was no longer a traveler from the city. He was a story being told in the dark, a name whispered under a cursed tree. The darkness did not just surround him, it was consuming him. The first light of morning arrived pale and hesitant, as if afraid of what it might reveal. The village stirred, rhythms familiar and comforting. A young boy chasing his ball found the traveler's phone, its screen mysteriously lit. A recording was playing, a thin wind, then the clear solitary note of the distant temple bell, then the unmistakable jingle of anklets, a woman's laugh, soft, knowing, a whisper, so clear it was as if she stood there. Arjun. The boy ran back pale with fear, The men came cautiously, their tools feeling like inadequate weapons. They searched under roots and high branches and found nothing. No footprints but their own. The traveler's bag was gone. Only this small, cold, electronic ghost remained. The elder turned it off, and the silence that followed was heavier and more menacing than the recording. The men exchanged grave looks. The old stories were warnings. The tree had claimed another. From that day, an invisible wall of fear stood around the ancient banyan. No one went near it. Bedtime stories carried urgent warnings about straying from the village lights. On still nights, a soft melodic laugh would float from the canopy. Sometimes the distant bell was answered by delicate anklets. Some dismissed it as myth, but the phone was a cold, digital fact in a world of whispered legends. The Tudale waits, they would say. She is patient. Her backward feet a sign and a sentence. She did not hunt with rage, but with quiet, sorrowing longing. A voice that draws you in. The recording went to the police. A missing persons report gathered dust. An unsolvable case with no witnesses. But the villagers knew the truth. The world is older and stranger than the cities believe. Some voices, once heard, echo forever in the silence that follows.